Hi everyone, welcome to Kids Kitchen. I'm Miss Christina and today I'm going to share a really fun, spooky recipe with you. So it's almost Halloween, it's my favorite holiday, so I thought I would show you how to make a really fun twist on worms and dirt. I'm sure we've all had that before, it's a classic treat. We're going to turn our worms and dirt into a cemetery pudding cup. So this is something that you can make for yourself. Or you can make a really big batch of it if you're going to have a party. So it's really easy to adapt. There isn't really any measuring. Miss Christina likes to wing it most of the time. So I'm going to show you what we need to do it, and then we'll put it all together. It's super easy, super fun, and it looks really cute. So in order to make worms and dirt, you only need a few ingredients. So you'll want to use some pudding. Preferably chocolate pudding because the idea is that it looks like dirt. You can use any kind of chocolate. I know they have ones with other flavors in them. This is chocolate and vanilla. There's some swirls. It's all going to get mixed up, so it's okay if it isn't totally brown. And you can use any kind of pudding you want. Any brand, any size. So these little individual pudding cups are great. Especially if you're just making one serving for yourself to have like as a snack or dessert. Or you can use the larger containers that pudding sometimes comes in the refrigerated section at the grocery store. Or you can even make your own pudding if you're feeling ambitious. It's still pretty easy, but it just takes a little bit longer. So if you want something that's quick and easy, or you don't have a lot of time to prep, you're going to probably want to use the pudding that's already made, just like this. So the other thing you need for your worms and dirt part of this is Cool Whip. So this you can find in the freezer. Just make sure that you put it in the fridge for like 24 hours before you use it. It'll make it nice and soft and easy to scoop. You will need some worms. So I've got some gummy worms here. You could also use gummy bugs if you like, but I like to go the traditional route with the worms. And then you'll need some Oreos or other chocolate sandwich cookies. This is going to make your dirt. So depending on if you're making it for yourself or you're making a large batch, that'll determine how many of these you need. If you're just making them for yourself, you don't need a whole lot. If you accidentally make too much, you can throw the leftovers in a Ziploc bag and use it another time if you want to make another one. So we're going to go ahead and do that part first, and then we're going to turn that worms and dirt into a cemetery. So for that, we're going to use Milano cookies. You can use any flavor you want. This is going to be our tombstone, and we're going to write on it using some food markers. You can also use the icing that's in the little squeezy tube. That's pretty easy, but this is going to be the easiest because it really is just a marker that's edible. We're going to use these pumpkins for decoration. I also have these cute little bones. They're made out of candy. And some candy eyeballs. So that's going to turn our worms and dirt into a nice Halloween creepy scene. So the first thing you want to do is get your cookies ready. That way they're all crushed up and ready to go so that we can just start layering everything together. So you're going to want to take the filling out of these cookies. You can use a knife, very carefully just pull the cookie apart and scrape it off. So just that, and then scrape it off into a bowl or something. If you're making it for yourself, you can just eat the filling because you're not going to serve it to anyone else. It's all your cooties, it's fine, right? But the most sanitary way is to just scrape it off with a knife or a spoon or anything like that. And then you're going to take just the plain cookie part and put it into, there's a few different ways you can do this. You can put them into a Ziploc bag, zip it up real tight, and then you can smash it with something. You can use a glass, something like this works just fine. Any sort of container or something that's a little heavy that you can use to break up the cookies. Or what I did is I put them into a bowl and I did the same thing. So I just smashed it with this container here. And how you want your dirt to turn out is totally up to you. I like mine to be a little crunchy still. So I have some of it is nice and like finely crushed, and then there are some larger pieces. I just like the way that it looks and it has a nice texture to it. So you can crush it as fine as you want, but this is how I like mine. So that part's ready to go and you can set that aside. So now you're going to take another bowl and you're going to mix up your pudding and Cool Whip. So I am just making this for myself. So I'm going to use just one of these single serving pudding packs because I don't need that much pudding. Okay, so you just open it up and then dump it into a bowl. You might want to use a spoon. Okay. And then you're going to put some Cool Whip in there. I usually do kind of a 1-to-1 ratio, so about the same amount of Cool Whip as pudding. And again, I'm not measuring it, so I'm just going to take my spoon, even though it's covered in chocolate, it's totally fine. And I'm going to scoop out some Cool Whip and just put it right in that same bowl. Maybe like 3 scoops. That's about the same amount of each thing. And then you want to stir that up. That's going to make your pudding nice and fluffy and delicious. And it also lightens it a little bit. And what's cool about that is the Oreo cookies that we're using as the dirt is really dark. And so then you have different shades of brown in your layers, and it makes it easier to see things because we're going to put some stuff in our dirt. So stir that up really well. And there we go. It's all nice and combined. And now we're kind of like ready to start putting it all together. So your layers are going to be your cookie dirt and your Cool Whip pudding mixture. And then we're going to add some fun stuff in there. So in order to see the layers, your best bet is to use something that's clear, either a bowl, a glass, a mason jar, something like that to serve it in so that you get the full effect. If you don't have something clear, that's totally fine because we are going to decorate the top of it, so it's still going to look cool. But this will allow us to see the things that we're going to put inside the layers. So I'm going to start with some dirt. And because this is for me to eat, I'm just going to use my hands, but you can use a spoon to scoop stuff. So I'm going to get a nice little layer of dirt in there. Just like that. Okay. And now I'm going to put some eyes in my cup. So I have these candy eyes. And I'm going to put them towards the outside, like that. I'm just going to do a couple in this layer. Okay, so I've got a few eyes there. And now I'm going to do a layer of the pudding and Cool Whip. And you can do as much as you want. Depends on how many layers you would like. If you want it to be kind of even or slightly different heights for your layers, but I like it when it's a little messy like that too. So it's starting to look pretty cool. You can see those eyes peeking out. So now I'm going to add a couple worms. And the closer you put them to the edge of the container or cup or whatever you're serving it in, the more you'll be able to see. So I've got a couple worms in there. Now I'm going to add more of my cookie dirt. Okay, cover those worms up. So now you can kind of see some of the colors peeking through there. So I think we need more eyeballs. We're gonna put some eyes here and maybe another worm. Let's see how kooky we're feeling. So I'm gonna put a few more eyes kind of on the outsides again so they peek through the dirt. I'm gonna do a bunch of eyes on this layer. Okay, and now I'm gonna put a worm right in the middle. Just like that. And I'm gonna cover that up with pudding and Cool Whip. Okay. So it looks like that. So we're done with the pudding and Cool Whip. You might have a little bit extra, but that's a nice little snack you can have. So a top layer of our little graveyard is going to be dirt. So you've got some dirt left in your bowl. We're going to add that on top. And I saved some of the more finely crushed bits for this top part. Get it to look however you want. Just a little bit more, cover it all up. Okay. So now I've got my layers there, I've got my dirt on the top, and now we get to decorate it. So that Milano cookie, that's gonna be our tombstone, is gonna go like this. In the cup, kind of in the back, but we're gonna write something on it first. So I'm just gonna use this bag here, and I have a black food safe marker. And I'm just going to do the classic RIP, but you can put whatever you want on there. So these, like I said, totally just a marker, but you can eat what it writes. So I'm going to put that on there. If you want to draw something, you can. It's your dessert. You can customize it however you want. Okay. So there's my tombstone. And I'm going to pop it into the back of my cup here. You just kind of push it down as far as you want it to go. Beautiful. Okay, almost there. Got a few more things I can add. Remember, I have those bones. Put some bones in there. Kind of spread out. Maybe one more. Like that. And then I'm gonna add a pumpkin. Right next to my tombstone. It's super cute. If you want to add another worm, you can. You can have a worm. Oh, should we make a worm like sticking his head out? Let's try it. We might destroy our tombstone here, but let's see if we can get this worm to poke out of the ground. Cool. All right, that added a little something. And you know what? Maybe some more eyes. You can't have too many eyes. All right, there we go. There is our graveyard pudding cup. Worms and dirt. So I hope you get to try this. It's gonna be delicious. It's so good and super easy to make, and it's fun because you can customize it. You can decorate it however you want. So I hope you enjoy it. Let me know how it turns out. Bye.